Hi guys, welcome back. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back. Welcome back. Happy Sunday to everyone. I hope everyone's feeling super refreshed. This is the Surge Show. My name is Sergine. I'm happy to see everyone today. And let me adjust those properly. All right. I'm happy to see everyone today. And today I have a message for you guys. If you are new, I usually get my messages from inner wisdom and from trial and error and experience. And I know for certain these things have been able to help me through the navigation of the experiences that I go through and life challenges. So this topic is going to be extremely controversial, I'm sure. But at this point, due to so many experiences and so many run-ins with this type of situation, I felt the need to talk about it. So we're going to talk about how to deal with narcissistic parents. Take a breath. So many of us have never experienced this, but I think some of us have. I feel like a good 50-50 portion of the population have experienced narcissistic parents. And the thing about it is there's different levels to narcissism. Like I mentioned in a previous video, if you own your dark, you'll be able to know all levels of who you are, including your dark. But there are levels to this shit when it comes to that. So narcissistic parents come in many forms, and they can literally transform into different types of narcissists any day they want, whenever they feel the need to victimize or manipulate whatever they're going through. And for me, due to the fact that I have experience with narcissistic forms of people, including parents, I have to say that I'm literally sweating because that's how much I know this topic is like about to but the point is, I feel like due to the fact that I've experienced narcissistic parents, I can just be transparent and say, like, when it comes to both parents of mine, they have their different levels. Do I love them? Yes. Do I like them? Not all the time. And I have to be honest about that. And I think that the reason I had to be honest with myself about it was because if I feel like what I would never do to you, and I see you do it to me in different ways and different styles and whatever it may be, I will always remember that. And it's sad that I have to view someone that basically procreated me like that, but it's the only way that I have to deal with it. That's the only way I can process it, I should say. That's the only way I can process it. I only view you as the character and the actions and the soul and the behaviors that you portray to me, or that you show me, I should say. And that's how you know I'm really talking. These fucking sweat box, it's so annoying. But the point is, I feel like I'm becoming long-winded about it, but I have to take my time. I'm gonna let the message come out naturally. I have to be honest, the fact that I don't know, I feel like both parties have their own different like styles of how they portray their narcissism, because they both grew up differently. But at the same time, I can say there's one that I can tolerate more than most. But if I had my way, I would not have to deal with both at all, because I feel like I just am in a place in my life where I shouldn't have to deal with these type of behaviors or navigate through these type of people. And unfortunately, our biggest lessons come from home. Our biggest lessons come from family members and our environment. And I think that due to the fact that I had to be around that type of behavior, it forced me to never want to be that way. It forced me to never want to hide behind my shadow just because I don't know how to deal with my emotions, and just because I don't know how to explain my thoughts properly, or express my thoughts properly. And I think that it is very hard to love people that you're related to that treat you unpredictable, if that makes sense. I don't like being treated in an unpredictable way. I don't like being on guard around someone that I'm supposed to be related to. And I think that the way I deal with it is I kind of stay to myself. And I think that the only reason I stay to myself is because when you stay to yourself, there's no reason for the person to create a scenario that includes you in it and try to rope you into whatever bullshit that scenario may be. I stay to myself, and I also, if I have to converse, I navigate the conversation in a manner that keeps me at a mental calm and grounded place where I don't have to entertain the notion of any of the behavioral spurts that narcissistic parent or person can portray around me. For example, if I have to converse with one narcissistic parent or the other, I know that the conversation is gonna go the way they view life. And I know that if the conversation turns into something that they're trying to project onto me, I immediately let them run their mouth however they feel. And I end the conversation by going, yep, good talk, and I will talk to you later. And that later can come probably a month from now, weeks from now, days from now, because I know who I am and I know that I like my peace. And if I know that that person is not self-aware or self-accountable, I'm not going to pretend that the conversation, or not even the conversation, I'm not going to pretend that a relationship is the type of relationship that I would want it to be. I'm just going to accept the person for who they are. I meet them where they're at. Do I match energies? Not necessarily, but I can intellectually move through the situation, because I don't want to even acknowledge anymore any of the behaviors, because at this point I feel like what you look for is what you get, and when you fuck around you find out. And I think that even my parents know, like with them, it's not even about like honoring them or not honoring them. It's about, I'm in a place now where we are all adults and we all deserve respect, and we all deserve people to be around us that make us feel safe. And if we cannot be around people that make us feel safe, and we have to deal with a certain chapter of our life around that person for a moment until we get to a place where we're fully safe or fully alone and with the right tribe, I can just know that I'm going to be in a bubble by myself, and I'm going to mind my business with my cat, and I'm going to focus on my task and my endeavors and whatever I need to do to create the life that I want, so I don't have to basically be around someone as often that I happen to be related to due to the fact that they happen to be my parent, if that makes sense. It's the most cold yet understanding perspective that I can give, because a part of me has to be cold when I have to implement these boundaries, because narcissistic people don't really understand what boundaries are, and if you don't have them for yourself, they'll never even respect it even more. So I feel like if that invisible line is implemented, I don't have to technically expect much from the behaviors that I already know are predictable. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it about that topic. I don't really know how else to say it, because it's like, as you could see, it was very hard for me to even like bring it out, because it was like, this is something that I've talked about with me, myself, and I in my thoughts in my journal, but I've never said it out loud. I've never talked about how you can have parents that you just don't like you know you have to love them by default, but you just don't like them as a person. And if you don't like them, you can't really fake the funk. You just have to kind of just view it as a higher bird's eye view and move through it by implementing boundaries of mental peace. And I respect who respect me, is what I can say. I don't give respect just because you happen to lay down with a woman that I had no idea about and you chose this to become my life. I did not ask for it, but I know I came down on earth. I know I was written to be on earth, but I'm not going to pretend that just because I have life through you, now it gives you ground to control everything and disrespect my peace and disrespect who I am and not accept me for me. Because when they're in their narcissistic views and when they're in their feelings, nobody matters. So when I'm in my feelings and when I'm in my truth, respect it or find out. So that's the only way I can say this message. That's the only way I can deliver it, because it is not even anything funny. It's just life hands you certain cards and you have to play those cards the right way. And if you don't play them the right way, you end up getting played. And I'm never going to be played whether you're my parent or not. Nobody's going to play me. So I think this is the only way I can give this message. Cut raw and pauses and thoughts. So yeah, hopefully this was you were able to get something from this, and I appreciate you for listening, and I hope to see you again for another message. Toodles.